Uranus is moving to Gemini on 26th of April. Those next 7 years can change everything, especially if you felt stuck, if you felt stagnant, if you felt like you were in a cage in the Gemini area of your life. This is your chance for the breakthrough, for the quantum leap, for that sudden change, the new life. And what and how we can do that is we need to adjust with that higher vibration that we are getting into. Uranus is the last planet of the outer planets that is shifting to the new sign for next year. So we are almost in that new reality that we need to tap into. And I will tell you how and what to do. So give me those couple of minutes. Before we get into how to get into that high vibration, let's understand how this energy works in general. So the Uranus comes with the energy of unexpected, sudden genius breakthroughs, sudden changes, unexpected events that are surprising for you. And this is fantastic energy for the people that are stuck in the situation that they don't want to be anymore, but it is so hard for them to actually change. As an example, if you are in a toxic marriage, toxic relationship, and toxic marriage, but you have children, so you're like, well, let me try to fix that. Let me try to somehow be in that relationship still. With Uranus moving to Gemini, if that's, for example, in your seventh house, the relationship, the marriage, then it might come with the feeling that it is impossible to continue anymore. And you will need to take the courage and the boldness to do what is best for you and for your children. And it might end up with ending the marriage and the divorce. That is just one example. Because if someone is in a toxic job, for example, that this person feels familiar, it is not healthy, this is familiar, then it might come with the new opportunity of the new job that is coming unexpectedly, new offer that is coming, and you're like, wow, that's what I wanted. Obviously, this is your decision, and the price for that is you getting out of the comfort zone, you losing some stuff because you are losing that relationship, you are losing some stuff, obviously, but it always works for your best. This is for you to push you on the right path, and this is how you should look at this. Because if Uranus transits are not negative, Uranus transits are there to finally push you in that right direction that you should be on. And often we are ending with, I should do that earlier. That is the often that is coming with that transit. Now, Uranus feels good in Gemini, and this is all about the logical mind. The Gemini is all about connections, how we connect with people, how we communicate, how we access information, how we share the knowledge, how we learn, and how we look at the perspective on the life, on the communication, on the connections. This is major in the relationships area for sure, because this is the change, the freedom, the independence in the communication, in rational thinking. We will get a bigger perspective on our life, on our relationships. We will get our brain will be rewired, because a Gemini is multidimensional. Gemini is connected with our brain, and I mean like neurologically. So it is rewiring our brain to finally see that new earth. And once that shift of the Uranus in a Gemini completes and it starts to transit, we will see, if we align with that higher vibration, I will get to that, we will see a lot more proofs. We already see them, but we will see a lot more proofs of that new earth that is coming, that is right now shaping. And this is our decision if we want to stay in the karmic cycle, in the toxic cycle, or if we want to move to that new earth. I know how it sounds. I am aware how it sounds. But definitely the rational thinking, the communication, teaching, learning, the way how we access information, how we gather information, we will be mentally busy. The unconventional knowledge sharing, those are the things that will change. It will be faster. And we can see that already with AI and that all revolution. And the key here is to really stay with your inner safety and your inner focus. And whenever you feel like everything is busy, your mind is busy, you have the monkey mind, you get to yourself and you focus on your inner safety. This is the key how to handle that busyness, because everything will start to work faster. And if we channel this properly, this is the genius, we have the chance for the breakthrough. If we get overwhelmed and we will be overthinking, then we have that monkey mind. This is the challenge is to stay calm in that whole change. The challenge is to stay calm, stay within us, and focus on ourselves and focus on changes from inner. And this is that Uranus in a Gemini. I really feel, I even know that, not only feel, that this is the awakening part for the people to have the courage, to have the boldness, to align and get into that new earth, new higher vibration. And one of the things that you can do, let's get to that, how to get to the higher vibration. Majority of people, they are telling meditate, visualize, and of course this is one of the parts. But if you keep yourself in the toxic patterns, you never can get to that jump, because you always are in the toxic pattern, in the toxic cycle, that you get in the new relationship and you move with that pattern with you, and you end up in the same situation. You keep repeating the same patterns in your work, with your relationships, with your family. An example of the toxic pattern is if you were a child that had to grow up very fast in your life, very early. You were the one that were keeping secrets of your parents, that had to do a lot of things alone, and that had to take care of everyone. When you got to be older, then obviously you were the fixer, you were the one that knew everything, that everyone wanted to get your help. Your parents, your grandparents, everyone wanted to get your help. And you were still a child, but you felt like you were not a child anymore. You had to do so many things, you had to take so many decisions, and you were not protected. And we often say that, oh, my mother was toxic. Both of your parents allowed to do that. One of them maybe was more toxic, but the other one was not able to protect you from that toxicity. They both are guilty. Okay, let's align that. But this is not about this. You have that pattern of always proving yourself, that you need to prove that you need to fix, you need to prove your worth. Now you are getting to school, and in school you need to prove with your grades, with everything, that you are good, yes, you got that good grade, you are proving your worth. Now you are getting with that pattern to your love relationship. So you are again, you need to prove yourself, you need to prove that you are eligible to be loved. So you are helping your loved one, your spouse, you are helping that significant other with everything, you are fixing everything, you are getting into the mother of that relationship that is doing everything, because oh, he's so scared to go to do grocery shopping, oh, he's so scared to go to the doctor. So you are doing everything for everybody. And then you are getting to your corporate work, right? As an example, you are getting into your corporate work, and again, you need to prove yourself, and you are proving yourself by getting more work, more workload. I will do this for you, I will do this for you, of course I will do that. And you are saying yes to all that stuff to prove that they did a good job by hiring you. And you are getting all this. This is just one pattern that you can have, which is of course visible in your birth chart, because we are prone to some of the toxic patterns in our lives, and this is visible in the birth chart. Obviously we have different lives that can differently be shown, but we are prone to some of them already at birth, and we are taking advantage of that. So that is one of the things. Break that toxic patterns. And one of the things is to cut alcohol, cut the toxins from your life, and cut and change your diet to the lighter one. And Dolores Cannon, the one person that you can Google, I will not get into that, that some time ago, she's already dead, but she wrote a lot of books about this new earth, and right now we are getting into that, so she is getting more and more popular. Extraterrestrial channeling like Bashar, those are the proofs that we are getting. And Dolores Cannon, she also said that we need to get out of the karmic cycle, we need to forgive, we need to close, we need to get rid of those toxic patterns to do not keep repeating them, so we can move into the new high vibration. And the way to do that is, first of all, identify the pattern. Second of all, interrupt the pattern. Every time you see that you are getting into that, you need to interrupt that. First, you need to identify, and then you need to test that into the real world. If you need help, that's where I am the expert with the toxic patterns, breaking and recovering from them, and recovering from those toxic relationships. This is where I am with my astrology, the expert. So I can help you with that, because without getting rid of the toxicity in our life, we cannot. I mean, you can visualize, you can affirm, you can listen to good music, but you still are bringing down by this toxicity. And one of the things is really diet, taking care of your body, cutting out of course the toxic relationships that you have in life, if you can, some of them. For some you need strategy, you need more. Obviously some of the toxic relationships we are in, it is actually dangerous to just cut off that person if you are with the cycle. So you know the most what you can do realistically, but start with those first steps. Quit alcohol. Alcohol is sucking out your soul, so you cannot get to that. Stop watching Netflix and those things, because they are wiring you in the way that system wants to, instead of getting into high vibration. That's one of the things. The second thing I want to say is the key with Uranus is to do not care. And in my country we have the saying that when you do not care, the good things come easily. Because you probably noticed that when you do not need love and you are like, I'm okay with being alone, then someone is coming. Then someone is catching your eye and it's like the soulmate. That's the time when it's happening. Not when you are clinging to and cheering your beautiful husband. No, actually when you say, I'm not looking for a romance right now, that's when it happens. And it is like that with work. You were looking for months, and then you're like, don't give anymore. And that is that time where you are getting the job, and you're like, oh, for real? That's when it happens? Yes. So the key with Uranus is detach yourself from what is happening. And when you take decision, calculate the result and if you can actually manage. Because if you are leaving your toxic job, of course you need money, and of course the hope is not the strategy. So if you are leaving your corporate job with like, okay, I'm leaving, but you have nothing, you have no strategy, and hope is not a strategy, I will say that one more, then well, it might be like Are you able to handle the results? Do you have enough money for that empty period when you are building something with passion? Following our passion is another one. And I know it feels and sounds cheesy, but we are limiting ourselves with, does that have potential to make money? Does that have potential to make money? Everything has potential to make money. Everything. But you need to do something that you like doing. Astrology actually confirms that, because we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and that's the energy of, I want to be my own person. I want to be able to express myself. I want to work from heart. Heart is my navigation. Heart will be my navigation. I want more freedom. And that's the energy that we are getting into, and astrology confirms that we should follow. That's why so many people are losing their jobs, leaving the toxic jobs, and trying to put their efforts into the new path, because they feel that calling. They don't know is this yet, because we are in that in-between state, but they feel that what they had is not what they want in their future. And of course, I'm not saying that you should right now leave your 9 to 5, and if you cannot handle the results of a couple of months, or how much time it needs to grow in you, and you need to work on this to actually make money. We are living in the environment that is physically limited, and we have that money that we need, of course, to pay bills, to pay for groceries. Yes, that money is needed, and I'm not denying that. So do not leave your job to follow your passion only if you cannot handle the results, obviously. However, following the passion is needed for you to get into that higher vibration. Why? Because you are here with a calling. Our soul is here on this planet to do something. Each of us has something. And if everyone works in 9 to 5, if everyone is in a toxic relationship, toxic job, well, it's hard to fulfill that calling of your soul, right? So it will align as long as you follow your passion, and that will not burn you out, because you can go for the drop shipping, for the affiliate marketing, or whatever, or the Instagram no face pages. There are so many scams right now to make fast money, but even when you listen to the millionaires, to the billionaires, they are saying that the beginning was actually that they had to learn a lot before they jumped. And then the jump is like a quantum leap. And the same is here, but I will get to that. Follow your passion in the next. The last one is live like you already have it. So the manifestation. But no manifestation will work if you keep your toxic shit around you. And I will give you the example in a second. Now, live as you have that already. Example. You have the routine of drinking coffee in the morning, and obviously you would prefer to look at the ocean, right? Then close your eyes, drink that coffee, feel that ocean, hear that ocean, feel it. Feel like you are looking at, even feel that chills in the morning from the ocean that they're coming. And you need that blanket to feel cozy with your cup of coffee. Feel it, visualize it, and do that during your day, because the manifestation, obviously you can meditate 40 minutes, but who has 40 minutes to meditate? Maybe you have. But if you don't, do that during your day. Remind yourself while you are driving your old car, think about that beautiful car that you want to be very specific what car you see. Funny story, when I was during my studies, and in the beginning of my studies, I was driving a very old car that was not even mine, that was my dad's, and I asked my grandma I had a very cheap coat, and I asked my grandma to do a tour for me to that coat, so it looks expensive. So I felt expensive going for that. And I drove that car by thinking about the very specific car that after studies I actually bought, and I already sold it. So I will not even tell you what car was that. Right now I am manifesting a different car. However, that's how you manifest. You visualize while doing the thing you are doing. That is the easiest because your body is already in the situation. So why wouldn't you drive a different car? That's how I'm manifesting. It works, and I think it is a better idea than just like visualize something from nothing or just meditate. Of course, meditation is fantastic. I would add that if you can, but live like you already have it. And that was the 4. So break the toxic pattern, energy of not caring, follow your passion, and live like you have that already. Now, super important. You probably saw some indigo children on the social media and so on. And those children say, why the children have already, they are able to channel, they are able to speak to the spirits, they see more and so on. Why? Because they are on the higher vibration than adults. Why they are on the higher vibration? And the answer is because they are not being bombarded with the negative stuff and the toxic stuff. For example, watching news, the negative things that are keeping you on this low vibration. Social media, crime stories on Netflix. Why are they there? So to make you scared, to make you in low vibration. The highest vibration is the vibration of love. So when you think about, oh, the taxes, the bills, the money, the mortgage, all of this stuff, those are also the things that are keeping us in the low vibration, which children, they don't have that because they do not have the adults' problems, and they are not being bombarded with the negative energy. So if you could do one thing, which is the most important to actually make you available to make the quantum leap and the jump, is actually remove the toxicity. And the toxic pattern with which you move is one of the most important things because it impacts your whole life. But you can already start now by cutting off and quitting alcohol, quitting smoking, eating healthy, working from love to yourself and starting to work out and change what your future self that looks fantastic and is feeling fantastic and is forever young, what that person is doing. I do not have Netflix. I don't even know what is there. I don't have Netflix or any other platform at this stage. I'm not watching news. You can remove the immediate toxicity from your life already. And that will make your life already better, and you will be already on the higher vibration. It will be so much easier for you to tap into that positivity that makes you believe in your passion, and you will have time for yourself to think about what is your calling, because it needs to come within you.